The International Energy Agency projects that India's demand for natural gas will increase by nearly 60% by the year 2030. To meet that impending surge, the country holds enough strategic gas storage to sustain national consumption for barely 10 to 12 days. To the north, China identified a similar vulnerability years ago, heavily subsidizing secure, overland pipelines connecting directly to Russia and Central Asia. India does not have that connected infrastructure. Its economic output is completely tethered to commercial vessels navigating thousands of miles of open ocean. With regional competitors successfully locking in direct physical supply lines, India is operating at a strategic disadvantage in securing its future power grid. The Strait of Hormuz shows why a single narrow channel dictates the flow of India's imported crude and LNG. During recent conflicts in West Asia, regional tensions blockaded the strait. Over 40 Indian energy ships were trapped at anchor, unable to pass. Commercial logistics broke down entirely when insurers abruptly canceled war risk coverage for any vessels operating in the area. Oil Minister Hardeep Singh Puri publicly confirmed that the country held 60 days of crude and 45 days of LPG in reserve, but prolonged blockades threatened to push domestic fuel prices higher. Relying on a narrow maritime bottleneck that can be shut down by foreign military disputes places India's entire domestic economy at constant risk. To bypass that vulnerability, developers propose the Middle East-India Deepwater Pipeline, a $4 billion, 2,000-kilometer subsea energy corridor. Right now, India imports natural gas almost exclusively via specialized cryogenic tankers like this one. Currently, gas is supercooled to minus 162 degrees Celsius, shipped and put through an expensive regasification process. A subsea pipeline bypasses this. It transports gas continuously under high pressure at normal temperatures, saving $3 to $5 per unit. By investing in fixed infrastructure upfront, the pipeline secures a stable, predictable cost structure, insulating the domestic market from extreme spot price fluctuations. To avoid geopolitically sensitive maritime zones, engineers have to map a route that takes the pipeline 3,450 meters below sea level. Laying pipe at this depth requires overcoming unstable seabed sediments and active seismic fault lines that could cause infrastructure failure. The design also has to account for deep-sea currents that trigger vortex-induced vibrations, a dynamic that accelerates metal fatigue. To validate the project's viability, developers laid 3,000 meters of test pipeline, rigorously analyzing soil strength and pressure tolerances. Solving these geological and hydrodynamic challenges is the mandatory cost of creating an energy route isolated from surface-level conflicts. Building a $4 billion structure under miles of crushing water pressure seems inefficient when a much shorter overland route to South Asia exists. But that overland path runs directly through Balochistan, Pakistan's largest and most volatile province. The region is home to a decades-long armed uprising. Groups like the Balochistan Liberation Army routinely use suicide operations to destroy railways, transport hubs, and state infrastructure. Their primary targets include foreign investments, specifically Chinese engineers and facilities tied to the multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan Economic Corridor at Kwadar Port. Running a vital, high-pressure gas artery through an active conflict zone makes the overland route too dangerous to finance or build. The final proposed route connects the vast gas reserves of Oman, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia directly to Gujarat. It guarantees 31 million metric standard cubic meters of natural gas daily, locked under a 20-year supply contract. This corridor functions as a physical component of a broader strategic grouping involving the US, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, intended to link the subcontinent with West Asian markets. By securing its own independent supply chain, India positions itself as a stabilizing force in the region, countering Beijing's infrastructure vision. The successful completion of this route transforms India's energy landscape, replacing maritime vulnerability with a permanent seat of power in West Asian markets.